Domination at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I will fully be honest. I am a little bit I'm not too biased anymore. I don't have a favorite driver, but my favorite driver has a team, so I'm going to support the team. So yeah, I am biased, I guess. You can't run away from it, right? Like everyone says, don't be biased, try to be neutral and all that. But deep down in all of our hearts, there's just a little bit of favoritism. And obviously, with my Jeff Gordon ties, I will be affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports, which is now essentially the team that Jeff Gordon basically runs nowadays, with Rick Hendrick kind of lurking in the background. And I guess as a message or tribute to Mr. Chase Elliott, who is unfortunately going to be missing for a little bit of time with a broken leg, the three main drivers of Hendrick Motorsports, not including Josh Berry, the guy never drove a next-gen car in his life before today, so I don't think anyone expected really anything from him. I mean, when how hard it is to never drive a car before in your life and then go get and do it against guys who do it every week. Genuinely insane. So yeah, the three other veterans go out there and dominate. I mean, it was very, very, very impressive, and they end up finishing 1, 2, and 3. Hendrick Motorsports was insane today, and that is what we're mainly going to be talking about. I want to give a shout out to all the Patreon members, as always, for supporting the channel. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you, as always. We have one new one today, Jake Bedway. Thank you for joining the Patreon. Make sure you join the Discord. And thank you guys for all the support, as always. Now let's get into it. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, third race of the season, second on the West Coast trip. Next week will be Phoenix, which is going to be a very huge race for obvious reasons, as that is the finale. But today was Chevrolet and Hendrick Motorsports, well, particularly Hendrick Motorsports domination. Kyle Larson, William Byron, Alex Bowman, were really, really good. Specifically, I think William Byron had the best car. Larson was not too far behind, and then everyone else was just a little bit farther back. Absolute domination from those guys. And overall, the race felt like a really normal NASCAR race. I'll be completely honest. I had the same exact opinion of the Formula One race earlier today. Thought it was a very normal Formula One race. There's nothing wrong with those things, Not every race is an absolute cracker, banger, super intense drama. It's just that's not going. If every race was like that, it wouldn't really be that special, or there'd have to be some version of manipulation in order to make it feel like that. Just because motorsports in general will not always be like that. It's those special moments when it is like that that make it very special. And today in both Formula One and NASCAR, I thought were very normal races for their respective motorsports. Formula One, very simple, normal Bahrain, no surprises, and stuff like that. And for Las Vegas, for NASCAR, very normal race. I mean, the first two stages, no cautions really other than the stages. Not really a lot of talking points. There was some solid racing. It's just that not much happened. There was solid racing in terms of for example, Tyler Reddick making his way through the field, or Kyle Busch getting in the wall and kind of knocking the toe out and stuff like that. But, not much at all going on the first two stages. Big gaps in the front of the field because Hendrick Motorsports and William Byron was doing very well, and William Byron ended up winning both stages and in the end winning the race. So he had a perfect day. 7 playoff points, won both stages, won the race, maximum points gained for William Byron. And I guess let's talk about him real quick before we talk about the final stages, because I've been talking a lot about William Byron in terms of racecraft. We know he has the speed, we know he has the pace. It's just about putting the race together from lap 1 to whatever the lap is at the end to get the checkered flag. Because there's always, it feels like throughout the race that William Byron suffers a little bit in terms of his racecraft. He's not able to maintain the same pace over long runs, over multiple runs, whether it's maybe keeping up with the track, understanding what his car does. There's a lot of different things around it, but it just always seems like if William Byron has a fast car early on, either something goes wrong or he loses a little bit of track position and he's not able to gain it back. And that's my feeling on William Byron for a while now. We all know he has a talent. I mean, he was absolutely outstanding in the Truck Series. He was, outstanding in the Xfinity Series. He is a very, very talented driver. It's just being able to put a whole race together like today. You need a little bit of luck as well. You know, towards that end of the race, William Byron was not going to win it. He lost a little bit of track position on one of the cautions on pit road, and he wasn't, you know, he lost a little bit of time to Larson, Bowman. Hamlin took 2 tires, and he wasn't able to, you know, then catch Larson because Larson got the track position. So the caution with 4 to go was huge. I mean, and sometimes you need that kind of luck. We could be talking about Kyle Larson winning the race, and, you know, another race where William Byron won stage 1 and 2, but ended up not winning because of some circumstance or situation. But with the caution with 4 laps to go, because Eric Almirola got into the wall, you know, a little bit of luck, pit crew getting him out in front of Kyle Larson and putting him on the front row was absolutely crucial. Martin Truex Jr. actually ended up deciding this race as he stayed out with, you know, on 40 lap old tires. He decided not to come down pit road. I think he was running 4th or 5th. He decided not to come down pit road and just gamble it and try to hold off everyone on two tires. The problem was he needed one more. I think he needed one more. If he had one more driver to stay out with him, maybe he had a chance, because you can 2 cars, block some lanes, see what happens. But with William Byron restarting right next to him, he never had a chance in terms of being able to compete with 2 fresh tires on this outside and arguably the fastest car in the field on the day. So that then prevented Larson from being on the front row, which is what decided the race. But there were some, you know, I think that while the first 2 stages were meh and not really all that great, I think after the Joey Logano incident, where Logano kind of got squeezed 3 wide, racing, you know, Brad Keselowski kind of squeezed them up, or maybe he came down or whatever it was, but he got into the wall and he was out of the race. Ever since that caution, I felt like the intensity really picked up at that point. That's when William Byron lost a little bit of track position. Denny Hamlin had the 2 tires and was up towards the front, and stuff like that. And the racing really, really picked up, I think, with about 70 to go. I really thought it picked up really strong at that point. And then again, kind of petered out towards the end until that caution with Eric Almirola. Overall, I thought the race was just normal. 7.5, nothing special. Not going to be a memorable one. Not going to remember it, you know, as we go into the season, into the summer months and the fall months. But it's a solid race. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Genuinely, there's nothing wrong with that. Las Vegas is a good track. There was good racing. It just wasn't all that crazy. And you know, still you had drama towards the end because Larson was going to win this race if it wasn't for that caution. And the caution changes it up. You have pit road. Pit crews got to get their drivers out as quick as possible. And the final restart where they were essentially going 4 wide for 7th place or something. It was very, very crazy. And you also had a crash on the last lap as well. So very dramatic race towards the end. No complaints really. Let's go look at the race results. It is the Hendrick Motorsports 1-2-3 domination. While it comes to the first 2 races of the season, I'm not including Daytona obviously, but the 2 races where you expect, you know, speed and see what happens, Chevrolet comes out on top. Kyle Busch initially at Auto Club. It is Hendrick Motorsports at Las Vegas, but in general, Chevrolet is the fastest at the moment. Obviously for me, I hope it continues, but I expect obviously other teams to get up there. Toyota and Ford obviously to get up there. Ford was a little bit disappointing, especially Penske. Penske were definitely a little bit disappointing. Toyota were next best. If you look at the results, Bubba Wallace in 4th, Christopher Bell in 5th. This doesn't include Denny Hamlin, who was running in the top 5 all day, but ended up sliding back to 11th just because the restart kind of caught him out. Martin Truex Jr. in 7th. I mean, he was one of the, if not the fastest Toyota, along with Denny Hamlin. So, you know, Toyota was next up behind Hendrick Motorsports. They were faster than, in my opinion, Trackhouse Racing. They were faster than RCR. So it's not like all the Chevrolet teams were just, you know, Godspeed. It was just really Hendrick Motorsports at this track that we're going. So that's why I expect Toyota to pick it up. Really good run by Bubba Wallace to finish in 4th, be the highest finishing Toyota. I'm expecting a lot from Bubba Wallace this season. So after, I think it was 2 DNFs in the first 2 races, to see him finish 4th was really, really good. And hopefully he can continue on. Bell in 5th. Hendrick kind of quietly as the highest Ford in 6th. Good finish for him. Kevin Harvick in 9th is there. Justin Haley with an 8th place finish. Really, really good for him. Daniel Suarez for Trackhouse Racing in 10th. Denny Hamlin in 11th. Ross Chastain, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, 11th through 15th. A lot of interesting stories there. Tyler Reddick early in the race was just flying through the field, and you thought he had like a lot of speed. There was a moment in the race where he was running on the high line, got into the wall a little bit, was never really able to gather it fully back up and like make his way all the way to the front. Got the 15th place finish. Kyle Busch, again, hit the wall really early on in the race, but even before that, he started 5th, fell back to 8th. He didn't really have the speed in the car today that he had at Auto Club, which is actually a little bit surprising because both are fairly not, I mean, Las Vegas obviously not as bumpy as Auto Club, but, you know, high speed, chassis, downforce, aero important. So a little bit surprising that Kyle Busch off the bat didn't have a faster car, in my opinion. I thought he struggled a little bit, but you know, getting in the wall definitely did not help. And Ryan Blaney, like I said, Ryan Blaney, the Penske guys, I didn't really, even though it was Hendrick finishing 6th, I'm expecting a little bit more from Penske. So that's especially Penske. I guess I have higher standards for them. I don't really know why, but you know, because Joe Logano won the championship. Ryan Blaney was arguably one of the fastest cars last season. So I'm expecting a little bit more. And today they didn't really perform. But to be fair, not really anyone could perform against Hendrick Motorsports other than maybe the Toyotas. So just really, really interesting form of results. Quick note on Ty Gibbs, who finished in 22nd, because there was a lot of attention on him early in the race because he started, I think it was 4th, and then immediately within 20 laps fell back to 22nd. And I saw some people on Twitter giving him a little bit of grief or something like that. And in life, I think we, especially now, expect more, demand more earlier on, expect athletes or people to pick up things really quickly. And in NASCAR, when do you see rookies pick up things really quickly? Like, it just doesn't happen. I mean, you could look at some of the greatest rookie classes of all time in the sport, and they're not usually winning a lot of races in their rookie season, and they're not really out there competing for wins every week. So I know he's not running like top 10 or something, but he's a kid. He's really young. Even I said I expected him maybe to stay one more year in Xfinity Series. So it's a little bit of like, he's going to struggle this season. I have absolutely no expectations, or I don't think anyone should put any pressure on Ty Gibbs whatsoever. It's very clear, very obvious. He has talent. We've seen that in the lower series, but it's just going to take time. It's just going to take time for him to develop. The best drivers do not perform well in their rookie seasons. Like, no one does. And so just let him learn the next-gen car, the tracks, everything, the simulators, and all that stuff. Let him learn. And I don't think anyone should put any pressure on Ty Gibbs, even though he's in a Joe Gibbs racing car and he's, quote-unquote, replacing Kyle Busch. It's just, I would not put any pressure on him. And that is it for Las Vegas. Next week, obviously, is Phoenix. That's a very, very important race. If you are into NASCAR for the long run, it's always very important to see, as long as Phoenix is the championship finale, to watch that first Phoenix race, even though it is so long between the spring Phoenix race and the fall Phoenix race at the end of the season. It's still so important. People are going to be using that really genuinely as a test session. A lot of the top teams will be testing things, seeing what they can do, seeing what they can figure out, because if they do end up making it to Phoenix at the end, that is the most important race of the season, obviously. So we will see how it all goes there. Let me know your thought in the comments down below of the race. If I had to give it a rating, like I said, 7 or 7.5. It's just a normal NASCAR race, just as the Formula 1 race was. Normal NASCAR race, nothing special about it. Good result. Hendrick Motorsports 1, 2, 3, so I'm definitely happy about that. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, and peace out.